Welcome back to the Chris Elliott Real Estate Show. We're doing a little bit different format today. I have the lovely Miss Gina Sultan, Mrs. Gina Sultan, I apologize, on the show today. We're going to be talking about what the heck is going on with real estate today, particularly regarding closings. And Gina, we're kind of in an interesting time where I feel like things are changing day by day, hour by hour. Would you agree with that statement?
They definitely are. These are unprecedented times, to the point that none of us has seen it before. Nobody really knows how to approach it. So we are all doing the best we can to charter these uncharted territories. Yeah,
we're all kind of figuring this out as we go. I think our politicians and our health officials are kind of figuring this out as we go. So anyway, we're recording this at 1 p.m. on March the 26th. So the information is current up to this date and probably for the next 5 minutes. But anyway, so let's just get right into it. Gina, do you mind introducing yourself, just telling everybody who you are, what you do, and where you work?
Absolutely. So as Chris said, I'm Gina Sultan. I am an attorney at Shaheen Law Firm. Shaheen Law Firm has 5 offices throughout the state, and for the most part, we practice primarily residential real estate. So I've been doing this it'll be 6 years in August, which is hard to believe.
That's awesome.
And real estate is it's my thing. That's mainly what we do here.
Yeah. Do you know how many closings y'all will do, at least in your office, a year? Or is that a number y'all track?
I don't know specifics, but I can tell you over summer, there are times where we do over 900 between all 5 offices a month.
Yeah. So you guys are seeing a couple deals here and there.
We work very hard to make sure that we are relevant in the real estate community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So issue of the day, let's get to it. What are we seeing with real estate closings? And I'll preface this by saying, this thing is really state by state, county by county, but what are you seeing with real estate closings?
So as far as real estate closings here in Virginia, and I can speak a little bit about it from a national perspective because the lenders that we work with, of course, for the most part are national, and they are servicing loans all throughout the country. So one thing that I've noticed more so recently is power of attorneys. So power of attorneys are becoming much more prevalent.
Okay.
Here in Virginia, and I'd assume throughout the country, in order for a power of attorney to be valid, we have to record the original power of attorney with the courthouse. And the lender has to approve of that power of attorney. So what that means is the principal, who is the person that cannot come in to sign, is signing a power of attorney, allowing an agent to act on their behalf. Mm-hmm. As I said, that original power of attorney has to be documented. It has to be recorded in the courthouse.
Okay.
That's one thing that I'm seeing a lot more of recently, and it's mainly for older clients who don't feel comfortable leaving their home, or not even older ones, people with autoimmune disorders or have a compromised immune system.
Yep.
That power of attorney allows anyone to act on your behalf. Anybody whatsoever, one person can have a power of attorney to act on 2 people's behalf. So if it's a spouse, they can give it to their children or to one child to come in and sign on their behalf. Nice.
So there is a workaround if you are in a transaction right now or you want to buy a house, but you're scared of contact or the 6-foot rule, you can sign off on a power of attorney and somebody can go and sign docs on your behalf.
Absolutely. And attorneys can draft those power of attorneys, and it has to be notarized. That is the only caveat. So if you don't feel comfortable leaving, you can go to the bank, or there are actually things called mobile notaries, where a notary can come to your home and either conduct a full closing, and we are able to service that and act as the middleman between the e-notary or the notary individual and our client. So a notary can come to your home and notarize the documents in front of you, and while you sign, while we conduct the closing, or if you prefer for someone to sign all the documents on your behalf, that mobile notary can actually go to your home. And it's usually a minimal fee for local mobile notaries, and they can sign the power of attorney, bring it back to us so that someone can sign on your behalf. Another thing that I'm seeing is lenders are allowing attorneys, so the settlement agent, to sign on the client's behalf.
Interesting.
That's a good word to say, interesting, because for the most part, usually in the last 6 years, as I said, and many years before that, most lenders have not allowed the settlement agent to act as the power of attorney due to the inherent conflict of interest.
Sure.
Now, right now, they're being a little bit more lenient with that. And there are certain attorneys who have arrangements with other attorneys to allow someone else to sign on their behalf. So again, that is more leniency that I am seeing that I have not seen ever.
Yeah. Talk to me, before we hit the record button, you were mentioning electronic notaries, which some people are talking about. Touch on that real quick, if you would.
So there are two ways where a real estate transaction can utilize the technology, essentially. So one of them is an e-recording, electronic recording of documents. So for the most part, and I can speak only on Virginia's behalf, most counties and cities here in Virginia are able to record real estate transaction documents electronically, which is amazing.
Right.
Because when the courthouse is closed, as long as there's somebody there that is allowing the recordation to go through, then we can record from the comfort of our own office. So we've been doing that here for 3 years. You really want to make sure to be working with somebody who has the capability to e-record the documents.
Yeah.
It just streamlines the process in the event that something were to happen. Now, e-notary, that's different. As I was saying earlier, documents have to be notarized. Most real estate documents have to be notarized. With cash closings, they do not. So cash closings, we can do it over email if you'd like. With when there is a lender involved, the documents do have to be notarized. So in Virginia, the statute is slightly vague, unfortunately, where it says that unless a notary has personal knowledge of a person, so unless I know you individually or personally outside of this office, then I actually have to get your ID in person. So, but there is a caveat to that, because it says that e-notaries are allowed where another third-party company will be able to electronically notarize those documents. Now, because there's kind of conflicting wording in the statute, not all lenders are comfortable with that, and not all counties or cities feel comfortable recording the electronically notarized documents. So that's something that we're playing with. We have done it before, but again, not all lenders feel comfortable with it.
Okay. So maybe once everything gets sorted out, that might be something that's, and tell me if you think otherwise, but I feel like with everything, a lot of attorneys, you guys are a little bit forward in a lot of ways, but you guys were forward thinking as far as the electronic recordations. I feel like coming out of this, if you don't offer that as an attorney, you're probably going to be out of the real estate closing business. It's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's honestly no reason to put your clients at risk of not being able to record, not being able to disperse. And it's a fairly simple process. Is just getting used to it. I will say about the e-notarized documents, the notarized documents that you can electronically notarize, there is a bill that's currently in front of the House. So it's been presented. And if that bill were to pass, then it would supersede state statute, and electronic notaries would be allowed all throughout the country. So
that's awesome.
If that bill passes, now right now it's been presented, nobody's heard it yet.
Sure. Okay. So they're taking steps to make sure that the train keeps moving forward.
Absolutely.
Okay. Super cool. So all right. So we're talking about the rosy stuff. Give me the ugly. What issues have we seen? What adjustments have y'all had to make? We talked about some of them. Kind of what else is being done to keep the ball forward, moving forward as far as real estate, transactions go.
So as you said earlier, it's a very fluid situation, and we are conforming every day with the new rules and regulations that are being put forward. One thing that we're seeing is, we are requesting that nobody other than the individuals who are signing the documents be present at closing. Now, that is to comply with Governor Northam here or any other governor's orders that no more than 10 people be allowed in a setting. So that is our request to ensure that we comply with that 10-person rule, which kind of makes it upsetting because most clients, they've been working with their agents for such a long time. It's an exciting time and they want to celebrate. So again, we would never kick somebody out the door, but if we have to meet those 10% guidelines, then that makes it a little bit more difficult. So most lenders and most agents are unfortunately not coming to closing.
Yeah.
Another thing that this has created as far as chaos is concerned is panic in the public. So everybody's
You don't say.
Everybody's panicking. I get that. And unfortunately, everybody's in such a rush to close in the event that everybody's worried that the whole country will shut down or that they're going to be chain locked to their homes, which rest assured you will not be. That will not happen. So it's creating a little bit more of a panic and causing people to have less patience, unfortunately.
Yeah. It seems like everybody's just a little bit on edge right now.
Exactly.
I will say though, we are very fortunate in the way that we already did business in Virginia. Like there's certain states like New York where it's buyer, seller, buyer's agent, seller's agent, attorney, bank lender, bank's attorney, managing broker. Like there's 10 people that have to be at the closing to even make it happen. So I think we're fortunate in the sense that it's a doable process.
Exactly. And there's one more thing that is making it difficult. I spoke to a client yesterday, and credit unions are under different regulations than banks. So while banks cannot legally close for more than 3 days, credit unions can, or they have just different regulations.
Right.
So I was speaking to a client yesterday who her credit union was actually closed, and she was not able to get her funds. So we were able to come up with another plan, which is good. But that's something else that honestly I didn't even see coming.
So maybe something to think about if you're out there shopping, either you're thinking about buying a home or you are in the process of shopping, or even somebody that's maybe under contract. If you're going through a credit union, that might be something that you want to talk to them or think through, like, hey, they may shut down, whereas a bank maybe wouldn't, or your bigger institutions at least aren't right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. All right, so kind of wrapping up here, what potential issues do you foresee that could happen? We don't want to speculate, and I'm sure there's enough on the news about, the zombie apocalypse could start here at midnight, but practically speaking, depending on what happens next, what potential issues do you foresee that could arise?
So I will say, as far as potential issues are concerned, it's really if we were to go into a quarantine or a shelter in place, it'll be the wording of that shelter in place. What I have to give props where props are due. I was on the phone with a lobbyist from the Virginia Bankers Association earlier today, and lobbyists are amazing people because they're good at getting what they want. So this specific lobbyist was on the phone multiple times throughout the weekend, ensuring that real estate transactions are deemed essential, that attorneys are deemed essential, and that financial services are deemed essential. Now, I know a lot of clients are concerned about being able to leave their home because they may not be essential, but if you have a letter from that essential service or an email or something that you can carry with you to conduct your essential business, then you are able to leave your home in the event of a shelter in place. So as long as we are all deemed essential, and then our clients can still leave their home to come to us to sign the documents.
Now, and I'm going to have you repeat that. So this is something that I heard was happening at a national level, but it sounds like you're aware that's also happening at a state level, that lobbyists and PACs and the people that are involved are trying to keep the economy going. So they're basically saying, hey, professional services are essential. So more than likely, real estate will continue to be able to keep going through whatever happens next. Is that what you're saying?
That is exactly what I'm saying. And it will not only allow us to be able to come to work and conduct the closings, but it will also allow the clients to be able to leave their homes to come to sign the necessary documents. And again, this is 100% the lobbyists, and they're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just self-serving so that we can keep going. I mean, obviously there's a self-preservation aspect to this, but I mean, if you look at the economics of it, when a home sells, the amount of GDP that gets kicked off from there, the amount of money that starts flowing, from home repairs to, they go to Lowe's, they go to Home Depot, they hire the contractor, they start renovations. I mean, all of those, insurance, mortgage, all of that kind of, we're upriver to all of that. So that's
certainly. And going off of that, what I've tried to tell people is, if we're not doing our jobs, then people are homeless. So some people have already sold their homes. Some people are in short-term rentals. Some people are in hotels. People could be homeless. So, and I think our legislators know that. Yeah,
absolutely. And we're already dealing with the shortage of housing, both in rental and resale. Gina, thank you so much for your time today. I know it's a crazy time for us all, and everybody's pressed for time. So I appreciate you joining us. Anything that you want to, if somebody had a question, if they wanted to reach out to you, if they want to use you for their next real estate transaction, where can they get a hold of you?
ShaheenLaw.com. So I'm here in Richmond, Virginia. We have 5 offices throughout the state, like I said earlier. And even if you just have a question, feel free to give us a call. We're more than happy to help, even if we're not involved in a specific transaction. We want to alleviate anybody's concerns and help put out fires as much as we can.
Absolutely. And Gina, I got to give you props. There's a lot of attorneys that do real estate transactions. A lot of them have kind of checked themselves out of the process where they have a paralegal just kind of running on autopilot. But you've always been one to get involved with the deal. I know you saved one that we had going earlier this year. So appreciate your time, appreciate what you do, and we'll see you on the next video.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Bye, everybody.
All right, we'll see you.